Doug Townsend here in the pits at Full Throttle Motor Speedway, the Rick Woolner Memorial with defending champion Gary McLean. Gary, good start to the season so far, but a homecoming for you guys. Tell us a lot about Rick. I mean, you're driving the 8 car. It means a lot to run this race.
Oh, it for sure does. You know, it's one we circle every year. You know, basically, it's not the same car, but it is kind of Rick's car in spirit. You know, we took over this thing for him in '99 when he got sick. Yeah, tough deal. Like, you know, the guy wasn't feeling well, thought it was just, you know, bronchitis or whatever. I subbed in for him one night at Barrie. Then again, 3 weeks later for the race here at Varney, and I haven't been back under the car since. You know, it's one of those deals. You know, we come here for this race, we really want to put on a show for it.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely, as I wrote this week, it's probably the premier open wheel modified race in Ontario. I mean, a lot of guys think about the stuff at the Autumn Colors and all that other stuff, but I mean, to put your name on that Rick Woolner trophy, I think means a whole lot in the open wheeled modified division.
There's a lot of guys that just absolutely love to do that, and we've been fortunate to do it a number of times. I don't know whether it's 10 times now in the last 15 years. You know, pretty lucky stuff. You know, I think we got somebody kind of rides along over the shoulder with us during this race. Gives her a little bit extra, and it seems to work out for us. But, you know, at the end of the day, there's a lot of guys that want it really, really bad.
Yeah, everybody definitely goes all out for this one. There's no doubt about that one. So, sponsors you got on this thing this year, Gary?
We really don't have any like usual. McLean Farms, you know, my dad and Uncle Brian, they help get us to the racetrack every week. My own business, McLean Industrial, you know, I got to say that because I got to thank the wife for letting us do this stuff all the time. My buddies at Revolution Race Products, you know, they don't really sponsor us, but they really do a good job of getting us parts when we need them. You know, really work hard at making sure we get things when we need them and stuff. So, you know, I got to give a shout out to those guys. And other than that, you know, just the all around every sponsor for OSCAAR, for the OSCAAR Tour Series. You know, if people want to go on the website, have a look and see who those people are, and, you know, maybe try to use their business because they do a good job for us.
It's definitely all about supporting those that support racing. All right, it's Doug Townsend here in the pits at Full Throttle with Gary McLean, defending Rick Woolner Memorial Champion, and shooting for another one here.
Start your engines! We're going to get lined up. We're going to go here in just a moment's time. 50 laps in the distance. And we're ready to go. Hopefully they are.
AJ, you're in here in the modified this year. You changed things up a lot, but I know you had great success here last year with the winged modifieds. Is that going to help you today?
You know what? I think it will. I've run a lot of different cars at Full Throttle Motor Speedway, and I've been really fortunate there. I love this track. I love coming to this facility. You guys have done an awesome job cleaning up the place, and I'm really happy to be back here, and hopefully we'll get some success tonight.
doesn't look like there's very much damage, although we might have a couple of cars hooked together, the 63 and 47 front end, since they're going to get McLean to move up a little bit, and they may be able to get them separated here. And there is some damage to the protection bar, the front dirt bar on the 63, but I don't think it's back as far as the Rad. I don't see any fluid coming out from that car. He should be able to maybe drive away from this as well.
Good news for both Brian McLean, who came in with a shot at this 50-lap win tonight. Still haven't been able to get more than 2 laps together as a jingle here on lap 1.
great drive tonight. I mean, you've got guys like Gary Elliott and Gary McLean behind you, and you can tell your guys, I beat those guys. You beat the best in the business, especially here at Varney. Those guys got a lot of experience. Talk about your run tonight, man. What a drive at the end. You had them by a full straightaway.
Yeah, I don't know. This thing was just hooked up tonight. Could just drive it as hard as I wanted, wherever I wanted. And to come here and beat some of those better guys at their home track, it feels really good. I'm really proud of me and my team.
So who do you want to thank for helping you get here tonight, Shane? Just an amazing drive and a race that means a lot to the local fans here at Varney.
I want to thank, first and foremost, MSD Machine Tool, family business, and they're our main sponsor. Huron Fasteners, Creative Edge Signs and Graphics, MDB Race Cars, Hoosier for sponsoring the Modified Series Paragon Collision Center. And I got a lot of really important people in the stands tonight that I'm really happy made it out for this one.
Excellent. Good deal win. Congratulations, Shane Stickle. Ladies and gentlemen, your Rick Woolner Memorial feature winner. Gary Elliott and Gary McLean, come on over here for me, guys. First, Gary Elliott, come on around here. Sort of a home track run for you tonight, Gary. You know, you spent a lot of time here so far this summer. You're smiling. On the podium, all the work in New York seemed to pay off this week.
Yeah, that's fantastic. First of all, thank you to all the fans that come out tonight. This is fantastic. Thank you to Gord Bennett for having us here. Thank you to OSCAAR for a great turnout of modifieds. What a crazy race this was. I said to my crew, I started 12th, and I said, man, oh man, this is wild because everybody's so fast and so tight and so close. And we got some breaks through the race. That happens. And Gary got some bad breaks. Otherwise, he probably would have had this race. He was pretty fast. But I was so excited when I seen the two flags come out and two laps cars in front of me, because you know what you do when you got lap cars? You just keep Gary behind them.
You did a good job there pinning him off behind Saul. Great run here, Gary, and I know the fans will see you back here next week.
Yeah, I'm running here 14 nights this year, so I'll be next Friday night, I'll be in a Thunder car, and the week after that, I'll be in my late model.
All right, congratulations. Gary McLean, come on over here and have a word with us, too. Gary, a solid run for you. Bit of damage here on the front of this car, and we heard your displeasure there. Obviously tough when you're running, and you know you're a veteran out here in this division, but it is a growing division. A lot of rookies, a lot of guys trying to get their laps in. So it's got to be tough for a guy like you who's just trying to get through the front, and you got to give him room, and you kind of got to give him patience. But man, it's got to be frustrating.
Well, for the most part, you know, you're pretty good. You know, guys like Stickle here, young guys like that, the kid can drive the wheels off the thing. You know, ton of respect for him. Some of the guys back there, they don't give anybody any respect. Like they just crowd guys up into the wall, and we've seen like half a dozen cars wrecked tonight because they got squeezed in the front stretch wall. And this place is tough on that. You know, you really got to be patient. You really got to work hard to keep your car in check and where it's supposed to be.
Well, you came in as the point leader tonight. Looked bad about 10 laps ago. Recovered pretty good. You'll probably still leave as the point leader.
Yeah, I really wish we hadn't knocked the nose down quite so bad, because every time I got on the brakes getting in the corner, it picked the front wheels off. But otherwise, I don't think I had anything for Shane. I might have given Gary a little harder run and made him work a little harder. But old guys like that, you don't want to make them work too hard, you know.
All right, Gary, well, a bit of a homecoming for you. Certainly not the way you want it. How about a hand for all the OSCAAR Hoosier Mod drivers and teams here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of everybody from OSCAAR, we certainly want to thank you for having us here. We had a fantastic time.